Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CampusCare presents EdTalks. EdTalks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for the day is examination fear among students, and to express her viewpoints on the same, we have with us Ms. Rajesh Banopreeya, ma'am, principal of Gyan Mandir Public School. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Mehak. I thank Entab CampusCare for inviting me to be a part of this webinar. It's an absolute honor and privilege. Thank you so much, Mehak.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for being here, ma'am.
The pleasure is all mine, Mehak.
So, ma'am, let's start off with the session now.
Sure.
So, ma'am, we all know that there are exams going on, and students generally are very afraid. There is an examination fear among students. So, why do you think the students fear from examination, and what is the leading cause for this fear?
Mehak, at the very outset, I will say our present education system is such that we evaluate students through the format of subjective and objective examination.
Yes, ma'am.
It mainly focuses on the objectives of cognitive domains of children, wherein we judge their knowledge, their comprehension, their application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation also. So I feel the examinophobia, the terminology which I am using for the fear of examination for the students, is because of various factors, and I'm going to list few of them and probably try to give examples to make it more clear. First, I would say the factor which is the most important factor is inadequate preparation by the children. Most of the children try to push their preparation to the end. They are not very meticulous in preparing right from the beginning. They feel, a day before the examination, I'm going to cram it up and probably I'm going to be able to give the examination, which is one major factor for the fear for examination. There are many children who undergo this unsubstantiated pressure. Now, the pressure could be from the parents, the pressure could be from the peer group, and the pressure could be self-built.
Yeah.
In the sense, a child has created a target for himself or herself. Like, I need to score 98%. And if I'm scoring 98%, I am the best.
Yeah.
Then I feel I'm on top. But then the child needs to understand that this is creating a pressure into the child, and because of which the child may just, give up during the examination. And that is a major cause. Few children have very irrational and fallacious beliefs. One important thing, another which I would say is the fear of failing.
Yeah.
They have it in their mind that if I am not passing the examination, if I fail, then what are my parents going to say? What is it that the society is going to say? What are my teachers going to feel? What is my friend who is going to feel about it? So we need to understand that this fear of failure is another important cause which is creating this examination fear. There are few who have very low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Because of this low self-esteem, the child is already having this problem, and then the examination creates an additional fear. The last but a very important factor, I would say, is this binge learning. Now, what is this binge learning? What happens? The teachers, they teach whatever is essential and a little beyond that. Say the child has to be prepared for the competitive exams. We do tell the teachers that you tell the children that you are giving them extra information other than what needs to be done in the class. But there are children who, pick up knowledge from wherever, from 10,000 books from here, there, and then they cram it up. And then during the examination, they have the fear that what is the point which we actually need to write for this question? They are lost. So this binge learning is another important factor which I feel where the children have this fear for examination coming up just before the examination. So to just list it out, I would say inadequate preparation, then unsubstantiated pressure, fear of failure, I have said, low esteem, and one more which I can add is the procrastination regrets. The child keeps on postponing that I'm going to prepare right before the examination. So that is another important factor which adds up to the fear for examination by the children. Yeah, Mehak.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was a very well explained, the causes for examination fear. So moving forward, what do you think, are the ways to tackle this fear, among students? And as a parent, how can you tackle this fear?
Okay, you want me to answer the question on behalf of tackling as a parent or as teachers?
As a teacher, firstly, ma'am.
Yeah, I think I should be answering the question as a teacher, as a mentor, as a school, as a principal, what we can do is to instill in the child and the parents also that it is very important for a child to attend school regularly. Now, this is a major issue which I am facing in the school now, I would say, as a principal, after the COVID scenario, where in 2 years the children were used to sitting at home. Now getting them to school, I thought, the first few months they were very happy because they were going to meet their friends and they are happy to see them after 2 years. But then now again, I feel little something happens and the child tells the parent, okay, we are happy to be at home, and the parent is also equally happy.
Yeah.
So to get them to school and to make them understand that regularity is very important. What you need to have is a disciplined timetable at home and at school. Time management, another important factor. Be it at home, you need to understand that whatever studies has been done at school, are you reiterating it at home regularly? Are you prepared for it regularly? That is another important thing. Proper schedule, again an important factor both at home and also in the school. Now, as teachers, I feel we all are practicing this, and especially in our school, we use a lot of mnemonics where we highlight the main points, we revise the important topics thoroughly, we tell them to follow flow charts, we give them maps. So, these reiterations are being done regularly, I'm sure, in all the schools, and we follow this up very meticulously here. Another important factors I feel, Mehak, is positive affirmations, which should go to the child from the teacher as well as the parents. We need to tell them that yes, you will be able to do it. You just do your work of being regular to school and study, and I'm sure you will get success.
Yeah.
Few more points I would say, be agile, physically agile is also very important. As a parent, I can't expect my child to study for 24 hours. I can't say that the child that yes, no need to go to the, go for a movie, or no need to go outside and play. You should not use the mobile. You should not watch TV. No, there has to be a blend of everything in proper, what do I say, one after the other sequence. Say you come back after school, then you take rest, and then you study for some time. You watch TV, you go out and play. Most important is the physical exercise, which produces happy hormones, the serotonin, the dopamine, and then it reduces the stress. So that we need to, tell the parents that you can't tell your child to study for 24 hours. What is more important is the physical exercise which keeps your child agile also. One more factor which I feel we teachers can do is, if we find that there is a child who's not good in studies or who's not meticulous enough and is not following a timetable, the teachers they themselves start helping them in doing so. Right? And as a child, the child should keep away from gossiping. What happens before the exam? A child is usually on the phone and he talks to the other child. How much have you prepared for the exam? And the other child says, oh my God, mera to sara ho gaya. तुम्हारा क्यों नहीं हुआ कुछ? Then the stress starts building up on the child himself that yes, the other child has finished the entire textbook, but for me, I'm just on the second page or in the second chapter. So each child has to understand that he has his own pace of learning and understanding, and you cannot compare it with the other children. So following your own pace, proper exercise, proper breaks in between, understanding the concepts and not cramming it up is another important way of tackling the examination. If you know the concept, then there is no way that you're going to forget it. Whereas if you keep on cramming it, then yes, there will be a time when you are forgetting what you have crammed up and you end up then, not doing well in the examination.
Yeah.
I feel these are the important points for tackling the exam fear.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving forward, ma'am, do you think this exam fear motivates or demotivates the students from revising their subjects?
Okay. Now, Mehak, I would say fear is an important feeling, be it me, be it you, be it a child. So, why should a child stay away from the fear? Yes, fear is a very natural feeling which every human being feels. And especially when you know that you're going to be judged, you're going to be evaluated, the feeling of fear is a very natural thing. So, yes, I would say fear motivates few and it demotivates the others. For example, if there, I put the children in two categories. Now, first category of children are who have little fear, but then they feel motivated. They feel, yes, I have exam fear, I have to study, I have to be meticulous, I have to, make a timetable, I'll have to do my revision. If I'm clear with all of these, then the child remains motivated and yes, he fares well in the examination. Whereas the other side, I would say a child with a low self-esteem or a child who procrastinates the work and pushes all the work to the end, that tomorrow is the exam and today I'm going to cram it up. Those children usually get demotivated. They then fall prey to this depression and they form, might be few children get into this depression state and they perform very badly and sometimes they even take extreme measures. So I would say examination fear motivates a group of few students and the other group it demotivates. So it's actually depends upon the attitude of the child, what is the circumstance through which the child is going, how much of positive influence we as teachers are putting on the children. Everything is an important factor which plays in this.
Thank you, ma'am. That was really beautifully explained. So, ma'am, we are just speaking of examination, that the students are very this examination fear, and why students are scared of it, and how can we take measures to tackle it. So, what do you think make examination so scary? How can an educator play a role in teaching students the way to handle this kind of fear, so they don't have this exam fear and they don't consider the exam so scary?
You know, Mehak, I would say examination is scary. There's no doubt. I mean, you know why? Because half of the children have been told that if you give examinations, you need to get good marks. And if you get good marks, you get a great job. And if you don't fare well in the exams, you fail in the exams, that is the all and end all of life. No, I'm sorry. That attitude has to change. We need to tell the children, as parents, as teachers, that getting poor marks, failing in examination is okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to get poor marks. It's fine. It's part of life. It is not the all and end all of life. So let's go ahead, prepare well later on. If you are failing, it's fine. We start preparing ourselves better. We get over this failure, and I'm sure success is waiting for you at some end or the other. This is what I feel. The validation which the child requires at the end of the examination makes the examination so scary for the children. That is your first question. And I think the second one which you asked me is, how can teachers play an important role in teaching students, right?
Yeah.
That's your next question, Mehak?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I feel as teachers, we should give a very good, supportive and stimulating environment in the class. Now, say, as a teacher, if I'm noticing a child, I feel that the child has little anxiety issues and I know that the child has low self-esteem, then what do I do with the child?
Yeah.
I will tackle the child myself if I can, probably call the child personally and ask the child, what is it that is making the child so anxious about examinations? Give him extra advice, find out the root cause of his anxiety. Why is the child so anxious? Is the pressure created from home? Is it the peer pressure? Or is it a target which a child has kept for himself? There are many children who feel that yes, 98 marks लाऊंगा तो ही मैं अच्छा हूँ. Otherwise, I'm not the best. So, what is it that is creating anxiety in the child? That a teacher needs to find out, tackle it very, very nicely and at a personal level. Now, that is why we also have the counselors in school. So we could probably take certain cases and hand over these cases to the counselor so that she knows how to deal the best with each child. Next, what we can do is, not hound the child for performing well as teachers. Yes, I do understand as teachers, we have a lot of responsibility on our head where the principal is saying, we need to improve on the school's performance. The average of the children should increase in the examination. So we are putting a lot of pressure. But then the teacher also needs to understand the child's capability. If a child of 50%, we are trying to push the child to 60%, it's still an achievable goal. But if a child who has the capability of 50%, I'm expecting the child to score 100%, it's really not fair to the child. So we cannot hound the child to perform beyond their capacity. That is a very important thing. And what needs to be done by the teacher is we prioritize their classroom preparations and their efforts. We motivate them to work hard and we keep on praising them for the little effort which they make in their class. That is very important. To be an inspiration, to be a source of motivation for the children as teachers is very important. And lastly, please let us make the child understand the concept rather than making them cram the entire thing. Then I'm sure things will be much more easier. I would say a little trust is important. We need to trust our children. We need to motivate them. And you know what? In our school, we are following one more important example, which I can tell you. If we have children who are performing not so well, then we take remedial classes for them after these school hours. So giving them personalized attention after these school hours also increases their esteem. Their self-esteem increases, their confidence increases, and this makes them perform better. And there are few groups of children who are performing absolutely well. Say they are getting 90% and we want them to get 98%. Then we give them special attention by giving them HOT questions, we give them special training. We actually divide the class, but not per se in the class we are saying that yes, you are not a good child, you're a below average child and you are an extremely good child. We don't do that. But then we create an environment wherein we try to give them utmost attention. If not, the child is not performing well, after the school hours we call and then we give them personalized attention through remedial classes. That's, I think, a very nice way of motivating the children. I could then suggest positive reinforcement, lot of revision and counseling sessions. I think all these blend together and we can actually make a child very confident.
Yes, ma'am. I think yes, remedial classes, it's a very good way to motivate students. Lastly, ma'am, do you think, the students who are suffering from exam fear are affected in any way than those who are not,
I think both are affected in some way or the other, Mehak. I mean, either those who have examinophobia, they either perform too well or, few people, they crash. I told you, fear is a feeling which every human being undergoes. And it's nice to have that feeling. You just can't overcome that feeling all of a sudden. At some point of life, you are going to have that feeling. So let's go through it. Let's understand the fear factor. Let's understand how to get over this fear and achieve success. What is the mantra of success? 3 things I would say. Absolute hard work, management of time, and learning from mistakes and going ahead in life. The final thing which I would say is all the children need to understand that you are unique children. You are special. You will do well in life. And if you are not faring well in this exam, you have another exam. You have much more in life to do than the examination. So let's get these 3 mantras very clear. Work hard, manage time, be meticulous, and learn from your mistakes. I think that's all is required for the children.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here today. It was, lovely having you here.
Thanks, Mehak. The pleasure was all mine, and Again, I thank Entab CampusCare for giving me such a lovely opportunity to be a part of this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And for all the viewers watching us out, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.